All right, drawing number 4 is housing. Housing is a fun one. We get to use the same tools as previous drawings. We get to use our 30, 60, 90. We get to use our compass and also horizontal and vertical lines. But we're going to add something new later on. But the first thing we need to talk about is the symmetry of the drawings that we've been making so far. So for the first 3, they are mirror images from left to right and top to bottom. So they are symmetrical. That also means that the center of the drawing space, which we've been finding first, is also the center of the drawing. Now on housing, that's not the case. A drawing like this is not the same as it is top to bottom or left to right. And also the center of the actual drawing is not the center of that circle. So we're going to start out with drawing these arcs, so we need to find that center point first. The first thing that we have to do is find the total width and the total height of housing. So I'm taping this up to my board so I can see it. What I'm going to do is overlay a picture somewhere around me so you can see it as well. What's the total width? Well, I'm looking at it and it says 7.5. Total, yeah, that's total. Left to right is 7.5. Height is where it gets interesting. Well, it gives me part of the height from the bottom to that center line is 3.5. So let me just write height 3.5, and that brings me part way, a little bit more than halfway, but not all the way up. So 3.5 plus what gives me the total height? Well, I'm looking at this center line, and then I see these 2 dimensions that bring me out to the outside arcs. This one, the 1.62, brings me to the inner arc. The 2.56 brings me to the outer arc. Well, this outer arc is the total, is that highest point. So 3.5 plus 2.56. And I'm going to look over here at my decimal equivalents and see this 2.5625, so 9/16 is what we're shooting for. So I'm just going to rewrite that 3 1/2 plus 2 9/16. What does that equal? Well, 2 and the 3, that's 5. 1/2 plus 9/16 equals what? Well, 8/16 is 1/2. Let me just break this down. 5 plus, let's turn the 1/2 plus 8/16 is 1/2, and then there's the leftover 1/16. That brings us up to 6 and 1/16. That is the total height. Now, oh no, marker. Like I said, the center of that circle is not the center of the total height of this. What we're going to do now is find what's half of 6 and 1/16. Well, half of 6 is 3. Then half of 1/16. Remember, we double the denominator. So 6 and 16 times 2 equals 32. 3 and 1/32. So from the center of the drawing space, which we know how to find, you can measure up 3 and 1/32, and that's going to be the top. You can also measure down 3 and 1/32, and that's going to be the bottom. Once we have that bottom baseline, we can find the center of those arcs, no problem. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, center of the drawing space. 5 1/2 from one side. And 4 from the top. Oh, I was close. I was off by 1/8 of an inch. And that is the center of our drawing space. Not the center of the arcs, the center of the drawing space. Now remember, we did some math. Now we have to go, I'm going to go down 3 1/32. And that will give me the base, the bottom line of housing. How do I measure to a 32nd? This only goes to a 1/16 of an inch. Well, what I'm going to do is measure down 3 inches. So I'm starting at 6, I'm going to 9 just because of the way that my scale is oriented. 2, 3. And I could go down a 1/16. I know where 3 1/16 is, I know where 3 inches is. 3 1/32 is right in the middle. And with our pencils, you just kind of, not guess, you know where it is, but you put your pencil right in between those 2 marks, and that's a 1/32 of an inch. I'm going to draw a light line, just so I know where it is, and now I can continue. To start this drawing, you want to start with the arcs. I know where the center of the drawing space is, I know where the base is. So now where I know the base is, I can measure up 3 1/2 inches, and that's going to be the center of my arcs. There it is. So I'm going to use my compass. So there's 2 arcs on there, 1.62 and 2.56. I'll start with the smaller one. What's 0.62? Well, 0.625, 5/8 of an inch. So 1 5/8. Remember, I'm going to poke right through the paper, right into the board. And looking at the drawing, I don't need to make a full circle. That's that. The outside is 2.56, so 2 9/16. 9/16 is just over 1/2 of an inch. 2 9/16. Grabbing the same center point. And again, I'm not going to draw a full circle. I'm just going to draw the arc that I think I'll need. There we go. Next, there are tangent lines. Remember when we drew armature support yesterday? And we had horizontal lines going right off of the top of those circles. Those were tangent lines. Here, this is the tangent line that we care about. We can see that it comes right off of that inner arc and then is tangent. What I'm going to do, take my 60° and just move it over until boom, I hit that line. So now if I were to run my pencil right down, it'll be a tangent line. And now once I've made that line, you can see that this point is not centered on the drawing. It's off to the side, maybe 1/8 of an inch, I'm not sure of the exact measurement, it doesn't really matter. But that is now this point. And we can measure left from there, right from there. We can do everything we need to. So that's what I'm going to do. From that point, over the left side is 3 3/4 of an inch. Put my scale on there. There's that. Also, from that point over to the right, 1.88 inches is another line. What's 0.88? Well, it's 0.875 rounded up. So 1 7/8. Perfect. I'm doing my 60-degree line first. That was not on purpose. Love it when things line up. This base is about 1 inch tall. Well, it is 1 inch tall, so I'm going to make my line just a bit longer than that. I'm going to measure 1 inch. Bring that line over. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to leave this blank. I am going to continue it on the other side though. And we'll get to that bit in a minute. This two-part is when we talk about a new tool and how you guys are going to problem solve your way through it. Total width is 7.5 inches. Mark. And line. Cool. Okay. Right here, this part, the two red circles, the two parts that are circled in red, we will get to in a minute. But first, there's this line. This line is parallel to this line and this line, so we know it's at 60 degrees. And it's a certain distance away. Thing is, we don't know the distance. Well, what we're going to do is infer it off of other measurements. All the other sections of the base are 1 inch, so that will also be 1 inch. I cannot measure that 1 inch horizontally because it doesn't work. It would just be like a radius. It wouldn't be the right distance away. We need to measure perpendicular to this line 1 inch. Well, perpendicular to a 60-degree line can be found with our 30-degree angle. So I'm going to put T-square up, triangle up, scale up, line up 0 with that, make a mark on 1. Now, that's the line that I need. Okay. These corners, it's a radius, it's an arc. The radius is 1/2 inch, but there's no center point. There's no dimensions given to how to find that center point, left, right, vertically, horizontally. We don't know where it is. But we do know that it's tangent to this line and this arc. So it's tangent to this line and this arc. If you were in school, you would have something called a circle template. You don't have a circle template in your Delicious Pizza Box kit. They didn't come in, unfortunately. We tried to get some for you, but unfortunately you don't have one. So we've got some other ways to solve the problem. We need a 1/2 inch radius to trace with something around the house. I've got a couple of examples. We couldn't find any that are spot on, but I'll show you. So I've got 2-liter soda bottle cap, like a disposable water bottle cap, and a nickel. These are called Vernier Calipers. They measure to very precise amounts, 1/1000th of an inch. And this one's 1¼ inch diameter. If we're looking for 1/2 inch radius, we're looking for 1 inch diameter. This one is 1.1 inches approximately. So it's closer. And the nickel is actually on the smaller side of an inch. It's like 0.835. 0.8 inches. The thing is, a quarter is probably closer in size, but a quarter has ridged edges. You don't want ridged edges. All of these have a smooth edge that you can trace around. If you have any one of these three things, I'm sure you have one, if not all three in your house, or can borrow a nickel from somewhere, you know. Use whatever you've got. I'm going to demonstrate with the nickel. So what I'm going to do is take this nickel and put my pencil on my arc. I'm going to move it right until it lines up and gives me a tangent arc from this line to that arc. There might be a little bit of a double line right down there. This would take practice, and also this isn't the right tool for the job, but in a pinch it'll work. Now I can add that same arc over on this side. So now I've got a tangent arc here, tangent arc there. Got my thickness all set. I've got these dimensions right. It's centered correctly, which was the biggest challenge on this one. And now all I have to do is clean it up, darken it up, and add a title block. So, gonna fast forward it. Have fun watching. Alright, so that's done. I'm going to darken it up. Alright, that's all darkened up. Time for the title block. Okay, so I've title blocked it. Now what I'm going to do is darken up my title block, and that'll be it. Whoa, I forgot to do that side. And that right there is drawing number 4, housing. We learned a lot today, especially with the measuring and finding the center of the drawing versus the center of the drawing space. And also we talked about how we can use some household objects, round household objects, to act as circle templates for us. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Pop into Google Meet. Send me your drawing once you've done it before the title block so I can approve it, and you're good to go. Have a great day.